hello, Mark.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rainbeard Gaming. My name is Richmond. Thank you all for being quite patient as we are putting out fires that we didn't set over here at Brandbeard HQ North. Hope everyone is doing well. I see a lot of people in chat. We got Pharynx, Panda Angel, Marky Mark. I see Astray Akilaverse, whoever that may be. We got a lot of people hanging out. But let me introduce my two guests that I have this evening who just funded Critical Care of the Game, not but mere moments before we went live. It is Omari Akil and Dr. Lakshman Swamy. Hello. How are you all tonight?
I mean, pretty great.
Fantastic. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. Again, congratulations on funding. I sent Omari a message just right before we started. I was like, we might fund this thing on stream, but it's on track to fund right before we go on. Let me pop the link in chat here. You can go check out Critical Care of the Game, which we're going to be talking about. We might be playing it, depending on whether Omari can get all of the tabletop simulator wires connected to one another, as Steam has seemed to blow up on us this evening. So while Omari takes care of that, Dr. Swamy, Lakshman,
Yeah, please.
let's talk about where this kind of all started. What is your position, and how did you come to make a game about the ICU?
Yeah, if you had asked me a year ago, do I see myself making a game, especially about the ICU, I would have never seen this coming. It actually started at the end of February, right before everything happened in the spring in Boston, where on Twitter, a couple of us were just kind of joking around, talking about, oh wow, you could make a board game about what we do, and that was all it was. But the seed was kind of planted. And then over the next month, it was March in Boston, which is normally pleasant, but it was our first surge of COVID, and I mean it was all the badness was starting. We knew a lot less then, so it was really scary at the time. And I think what really got me was that the ICU, the intensive care unit, not only were all these people sick and was it just kind of bad, but this place that was really so full of life to me, really just full of not just, first of all, not, patients who would be able to communicate with us, families, so many family members would be there. I remember, 10 people crowding into a room and singing to a patient who was comfortably passing. It's a memory of kind of how great it could be that we were doing like good things and bringing people together. So many different consultants, all these people coming in. Anyway, it was full of life. And when COVID hit, almost instantly, all of it went away, and it went from being this really kind of vibrant place to, the families were the first thing to go. There, no one was allowed in. It was awful. All the family meeting rooms were turned into like work rooms. All the other doctors and everyone was just kind of gone, and it was just us, and we were scared of each other. So it was really this scary, kind of lonely, dark place. And I kind of escaped from it. One of my friends who's a psychiatrist said it's amazing what the human mind can do, that you escaped from that by recreating the ICU from before COVID in like board game form.
Yeah.
And that's really what I did to just make what I loved.
Now, I assume you were a board gamer before, obviously before this, to even conceive of making one on your own. Had before all this even occurred, and before, had you ever had inklings of like wanting to make a game before?
So it was funny because if you had asked me, a year ago, I would have said no, never. But then I was remembering as I was doing this, I was like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I used to try to, I did a lot of this, and I think it's one of the things that you it's kind of like that childish spirit of exploring and playing and making new things was crushed in the educational system like it is for so many of us. And so I remember doing a lot of that when I was younger, and it was really cool to kind of go back to that. And I love board games,
Yeah.
but never would I have thought that I'm making one.
I'm sure Omari can attest to this as well. That like if you're a board gamer when you're a kid, like kit bashing like a bunch of pieces from like other board games to try and create your own. I mean, I've seen game design streams of Omari's where he's just got like boxes of like components that just exist.
Yeah, that's how it works.
How did all right? So how did Omari become involved in this project?
So what happened was that I put, hundreds of hours into this. It was just like I was escaping into this world, right? And it was such a joy. There was nothing like it. It just really lifted me up. And when I kind of got to this point where I'm like, okay, I have something, and initially it was just a personal kind of private project. It was like journaling, right? And then I kind of had done so much that I was like, I want to share this with the world. And I started playing it with my wife was playing it a lot, and I was playing with other people, and it was not fun. I don't know how else to say it. It was like a bunch of gears that turned, and you're kind of like doing things, and it felt a little bit like I was working. So,
Sure.
I realized that there was the secret sauce was kind of missing, and I also knew that I had no idea how to make a board game. So I was looking for someone who could kind of bring all of that to it, and man, I got so lucky finding Omari. I mean, honestly, now going back, you know, it was worth making this game just to hang out with Omari. I can't tell you how I mean, what a character he is. Like he would have these we would like working, we'd be talking on the phone. He'd have this brilliant idea of how to simplify it, make it better, make it more fun, everything. And then we'd go on, and then the next day I would message him about it, and he would say, "That's such a good idea." That was your idea. So we
I'm
had
just
we had a lot
rapid
of
fire
fun.
sometimes. We did, and the cool part about this whole thing was like, I I got to approach the game design part in such a different way because Lakshman really like put together all the pieces. He's like, here's everything that the ICU has to offer. And in that first prototype that even like he showed me, uh, even though it wasn't a fun game, like it had all the parts you need to make a fun game.
Right.
So it was like, oh, cool. But then for me doing the designs, like I didn't have to worry about necessarily like how individual cards would interact with each other because that was stuff that Lakshman and a few other medical professionals they were injecting all that into it. So they were saying this card should interact with this card like this, and I would just tweak it to fit it into like the framework of how the game needed to flow. But they were putting all the content together, and I was like, all right, yeah, ooh, that's a cool interaction, but how about we just like add this little piece to it so it'll just be more interesting and I would always ask questions. I'm like, okay, I want to add this, but like is that something that happens in the hospital or is it weird to have it work that way? So it was a lot of back and forth like that where we got to just mash our brains together and try to get to that secret sauce, like okay, this is fun but also it feels like the hospital, trying to work through that. Yeah, we had a good time.
Talk a little more about how like the because if you go to the website and kind of look at the crew who has been involved in this. I mean, it's a very diverse group both in both as a person but also in professional background. You have ICU doctors, you have former ICU patient, you have med students, you have just writers in general. Like talk about that kind of that group collaboration of like how that also helped kind of bring this all together.
And I'm just gonna give completely all the credit to Lakshman for that. Like I haven't worked with anybody who was just like so eager to like include people and just like in a really I think positive way. It's just like, hey, you and he was really good at saying, I think this person could bring this to the table. How does that sound? And I would be like, that sounds great. And we would reach out and have conversations, and they would be like, okay, I can contribute that little thing. And it just like unfolded into this team of people that were really making stuff happen. And a lot of it I didn't even see. I would just go into our like giant design spreadsheet, and there's comments everywhere, and they're changing the language of some of the like medical information and some of the names of the cards. And I'm just kind of going with it on the design side, but it was amazing to watch.
I would hopefully we can get Steam to go get up and running. We can talk a little bit more and kind of how the rules and everything work, because I'm interested to also talk a little bit about there a lot of the cards interact with each other based on actual like medical like you know process, like um, some of the ways that you try and heal people actually don't work for certain problems. And I think that's also pretty genius in this, is that it's not coming as a like, okay, it's just kind of a band-aid to put on something to help the game further. Like, we're actually using like actual medicine and actual education behind everything, that is kind of makes this game even smarter in what it is. Let's see if we can get Steam going again. Omari, are you having any luck with that? If anybody has any questions in chat, I can throw those up as well, because we will talk a little bit more as we get this going. If for some reason we lock up, it is what it is, and just please hold. We're just trying to get Steam under control. As
I can just say, while we're working on that, I mean, in a way, the theme really directed so much of that. Where, like Omari's saying, we would just kind of look at it and say, this card has to be involved, it has to be there, and it has to interact with this card, and it has all these limitations on it. And this is where I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to say it. He just is so creative. I mean, the stuff that Omari came up with is we all did as a team together, but the ways to kind of create new rules to make it fit the theme and to keep it minimal still was really what got to be so fun, because we really did not ever we couldn't it would feel so wrong to me to try to make something artificial to make it fit the game, and I knew all of my colleagues would look at it and say, what is this? So
sure, and that's a unique standpoint that you come from as well, is that the people that you are going to show this to and play with, they're going to be in the same profession as you, and they might look at it and go, well, that's not how you treat a pulmonary embolism. Like, that's
right.
Therapy dog might not be the best option for
It's always the best option.
It's true.
The therapy dog is a super powerful card.
Also,
I'm like,
in pure gaming standpoint, can you pet it?
Ooh, I don't know.
Because that's always the
really
question.
Good question.
What that actually looks like in gameplay terms. I'm gonna think about it.
Because that gave me some ideas. I have to tell you. We'll talk later, Omari.
When talking about Omari being a very smart game designer, I always, if it's available and if anyone can find it, I always push back to the Haba game design challenge from Spiel. Was it Spiel last year?
Yeah, they did that. They released that, I think, as part of. Actually, no, it was their own design contest that they do every year.
Right.
Yeah. And that was a really fun project. Yeah, if those videos are still up, actually, T sent me a nice note that a parent had sent and said, we got to do this with our kids. These videos were so helpful. Like,
That's
they
awesome.
Really made the process a lot easier for us to go through. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
T's
that was
best.
super sweet. True. Very true.
All right, preparing to launch.
Yeah, I have no luck with Steam. It is fighting me. Steam is just down. Every part of it, I believe. It doesn't cooperate.
All right, over to this. Mark asks, I understand where the cooperative part of the game comes in, but I want to know more about the compassion part, how the compassion part comes out in the gameplay.
Do you want to talk about that?
I mean, we could both talk about it. I think it's
yeah.
This was really important to us from the starting, because making a game about medicine and about patients is, at once, it was challenging because people can't pretend like it's not happening to a person. You can play a game, you can play like Dungeons and Dragons or something, and you're killing people and all that, and it's fine because it's very distant kind of. But this it feels so real. That's the goal. So we had to really keep it authentic, and the way that we carried that forward was there's a few ways. I'll let Omari talk about the mechanics of how we did that, which I think are really cool. But thematically, we really incorporated the harm and suffering that people endure, both from diseases, but also from the things we do to help them. And we tried to balance that so you could really see in some of the cards you play that, oh, this is really going to help you, but there's going to be a cost to it. And a lot of the cards just were built really purely on the theme of that. A lot of the pager cards bring that in too. Um, Omar, you want to talk about the mechanics of compassion?
Sure. I mean, there's a few different things that I think really contribute to like that compassionate element, and some of it is the cards themselves. So we tried to create some of the cards themselves that really give you the sense that they have an impact on not just the patient but the hospital, and dealing with like specifically like some of the staff cards that we put into the game, like they lean into that a little bit. We have cards that kind of talk about the family aspect of being in the game and how they affect the patient is supposed to help that. And we also, because, something that we understood about this game is that medicine deals with a lot of social issues too. So we were able to add some cards to the game that play off of that play off of some of the social issues, racial and implicit bias associated with that. Like that is a real thing that exists both on the patient side and on the doctor side. So
Sure.
like including cards that touch those things was important too. And I feel like that also was important. And one of my favorite mechanics that I feel like adds to that the mechanic or the compassion piece is, each patient has a recovery bonus that you can activate, which is like a special ability. Um, and you can only get it by removing crisis from a patient. And as you remove that crisis, you can fill up their recovery bonus. And when you get three, you can activate it, but those abilities benefit the whole community of in the hospital basically. So we wanted to really give the sense that like healing a single patient isn't just important to that patient. It's important to the bigger sort of network of what's going on in the hospital. Like uplifting one patient and having them recover and be able to walk down the hallway smiling, like that's gonna uplift everyone else.
Sure.
And so we tried to make a little piece of the game that even resembled that.
Um, that's pretty incredible that you can kind of make all of that work inside of this game. And I was really hoping that we'd be able to to actually play. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up Tabletop Simulator just as in solo mode. I'm not gonna play through the game by myself. If you all are
Yeah.
interested at some point, we can definitely. I guess we can reschedule and try and play this another time on stream. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open up TTS, and if because you all have designed the game, I can assume that you can do this for memory. I will do my best Vanna White to be able to kind of point to everything as you discuss. Yeah, sorry about that, Panda Angel. If I minimize Discord, it tends to lock up for a second. So I do have the mod here. So let me switch over. Create player. Critical care is there. All right, so that's loading.
Oh, there's another question from Mark.
Mark is on it with the questions.
It's a good question.
Thanks, Mark.
Would folks who work in the
folks-
healthcare find this to be an enjoyable thing, given its focus on being somewhat realistic, or is it possible that it might be, oh, whoa, this is too much like the real thing?
It's this came up a couple of times on Twitter, and I'll tell you the answer to it that I think everyone gets right away is that this is set in 2018, and therefore it is both not realistic and for that reason very enjoyable because there's no COVID in the game.
Sure.
I think it really reminds people, I hope in the way it did for me, and I think it really did this for all of my colleagues that have played it. It reminds us why we do this work and why we love it because it has been easy to forget that lately. So although it is realistic, it's also, I mean, it's still I think we really tried to thread the needle on this is tense, but it's light. It's authentic, but it's not grim. So I hope we landed that balance really well. I think we did because there's a lot of funny stuff in there too. I don't know. So
Yeah, it was really intentional to like make the game, yeah, not look be have it be visually like uplifting because it is a serious thing that we're dealing with,
Sure.
and you know, but we didn't want to have it be too lighthearted, so the content of the game itself doesn't shy away from what it's about, but we try to present it in a way that is a little easier for anybody who is gonna have a tough time like with that environment.
I'm going to switch over so people can see
Sweet.
the screen. If you can see Twitch, you can also see kind of what's going on over here. But I do have the TTS mod up. So I
Peace.
can still kind of go through and kind of give the lay of the land if someone would like to, either of you would like to kind of give the overview of what we've got here.
Sure, you want to walk through, Lakshman?
And then like
however you want, whatever you think. Oh, you're so much better at this
Yeah,
than me, Omari.
I can do it. Sure. So let's start with the patient. So, what we tried to do really specifically with this game, because our audience is obviously like going to be, hopefully some medical professionals who are interested in games a little bit. But we tried to make the setup super quick and straightforward. And so to set up, basically, you draw a patient, and so this is what the patients look like. They all start with a little bit of injury on them, and then they have that's the recovery bonus next to them, and you can kind of see it. Yeah, they have that special ability. So yeah, for Marley, if you activate that recovery bonus, you get to immediately bring an available specialist into the ICU. And so that's actually pretty powerful because they cost experience to bring
sure.
them onto the unit. So yeah, so you would get Marley, and then you would get a diagnosis, and you draw one of those randomly. They do all sorts of things, potentially bad for the patient. So this is lung cancer. So they all have like a sort of unique effect. And for this one, before rounding, which is like the first part of a turn of a day in the game, if there's any inflammation, which is the fire token, if there's any inflammation, then you have to add blood injury. So all the tokens that you are basically manipulating in the game represent injury, and that is yeah, that's the diagnosis. On the left, these are the effects that happen to your patient every day. And so you're going to add a lung injury, and you're going to also add a crisis token, which is the lightning bolt. And those are bad. Yeah, if you look at, just zoom in on the player board,
There you
it
go.
has on the right hand side. So that's basically your patient's status. So if you fill that up with tokens, that's bad. That means they're taking on all that injury and crisis. And so you're actually literally trying to avoid that because you lose the game if you fill up either the injury section with 15 tokens or the 5 crisis tokens.
Uh,
And then you have to draw code blue, which is not good for your patient. Really not good. And basically, that's your last chance to save a patient is if you can completely uh, pay these tokens, or you can use specialists to kind of circumvent the rules of a code blue.
sure.
But yeah, if you can't complete these when you have to draw them, then you lose the game. So avoid that at all costs. Don't let too much injury or crisis build up.
Before you go on,
Yeah.
it's like they knew we were talking about them. T is in the house. Hello, T.
What?
T says, "Aha! You can't make me buy this game this time, Richmond. I've already backed it on Kickstarter. I'm sorry. I have apparently a tendency to make T purchase games that we play on stream. Also, Lightning Archer asks, I noticed that the game is made for 1 to 4 players, and there seems to be a theme of community and cooperation. Would a person playing alone get a similar experience playing by themselves instead of in a group?
Similar-ish. The solo experience doesn't exactly like you don't have all the teamwork elements that you have in the normal game, obviously. But we allow players if you're playing a solo game, you can actually save therapy cards for later use. So it's kind of like you're on a team with yourself. And that's a mechanic that exists, in the 2 to 4 player games too. But that's really the way that you kind of can assist your future self, which I think is helpful in that solo mode feeling a little bit of that. But it is just you and your patient, and you gotta do what you can.
Phantom Meeple, hello. Thank you for the raid. Thank you all for coming in. We are here with Omari and Lakshman talking about Critical Care, the game, which just went on Kickstarter today. It is funded, and so we're celebrating. Also, Omari was telling me before we got started, this is, did you say 3 years to the day? Or 2 years?
Yeah, I think that's what Facebook told me. 3 years.
3 years to the day that Rap Gods funded. So
Same day.
it is a nice little synergy there between Rap Gods and Critical Care. Right. So if you are either of these two fine folks, you should always start a Kickstarter on this day. Or at some point during this part of the year. So we are, but thank you again for Phantom Meeple for hopping in and seeing what's going on. We are still in a Steam crisis currently, so we may not be playing the game itself, but we are kind of going through everything kind of that is in the game and kind of give you a heads up of what is available. Let's talk a little bit about the kind of the cards up here, or you go wherever you want. And
so
follow.
we set it up there, so it's kind of laid out like you would be starting a game. So you picked your patient, you got your diagnosis, and now you basically start going through the turn order. And so if you look at the reference card there, so you start with rounding, and then you find out if your patient's gonna have any complications, and then you apply therapies. And then you can work with your specialist and bring new specialists, call new specialists onto the unit. And so rounding is basically you do whatever is shown on those on the diagnosis card. So right now you would be collecting tokens. In this case, a lung and a crisis. And I think that patient would already have some crisis. And I don't remember what the other icons were. And inflammation tokens. So you would do that rounding, collect those tokens, and then you would draw complications. If you want to grab one of the complications, this is kind of the scary part of the game. So I kind of equate it to in Pandemic when you're pulling cards to like find out where the outbreaks are going to happen. That's kind of what this is, except every player is doing it at the same time for their patient. And so when you draw one of these cards, you find out, does this affect my patient or not? And so it tells you at the top, it affects your patients that have brain injury. This is hypernatremia. I think that's how you say it.
Hypernatremia, and that actually reminds me one of the things that we had an ICU family member review everything, and he's young, and he one of his big points of feedback was, how do you say all this stuff? People aren't gonna know how to say it. So we're actually gonna put it all on the website and record audio of every single card title and everything. So if you want to learn, you can, and if you don't, you can say however you want. That's okay.
What's it say on the website? If you don't know your kidney from your heart, you can still play this game.
Right. Yep.
There you go. Um, yeah, so these are the complications, and if it affects your patient, on the left-hand side there, it sometimes they have instant effects. So you would automatically get a brain injury token, and if your diagnosis was cardiomyopathy, you would also get a heart injury token. And so there's an interplay between specifically between the complications and the diagnosis. So some complications are going to be worse for certain diagnosis, and you kind of have to just know that that's a bad thing that can happen.
On,
And then on the right, it has a rounding symbol. So that means that it's going to accumulate, that complication is also going to accumulate injury every day that you remain in the ICU. So, um, yeah, just, and sometimes you have to draw the same number of complication cards as you have crisis tokens. So that means you can get, you might have to draw up to 4 or 5 of these at once and hope that they don't affect your patient if
I
you're not in a good situation.
I'm already sweating, and we're not even playing. I also appreciate um, at the bottom of all the cards there is definitions or more information about either the complication or the diagnosis or the treatment. And it's just a nice way
Yeah.
to ground this game in reality, even though while it's a more serious subject, but it kind of again grounds it in reality and fact and science, which is
Yeah,
always
those
appreciated.
those descriptions are really I have been really impressed with them because they handle like that a small amount of space and really getting a good description about a very complicated thing in a small amount of
Sure,
space because card real estate is not not much.
Not much.
So I was impressed at how well they were able to really get a lot of information on there.
I
This
remember.
is this is
Um,
part of our sorry, this is part of our team because Sarah Merwin is yeah,
mm,
is part of our team. She is actually she's an author of a book called The Informed Patient, where it's a patient's guide to a hospital stay. So she's kind of like a patient language expert. So she and I spent so much time, I mean, whittling it down by like character by
Sure,
character to get these to fit on every card, and hopefully it works.
it's
yeah, and it's nice to you're just playing and like every I don't read every card obviously when I'm like looking through it and playing, but every once in a while I'll get to one and I'll be like, wait a second, what is this? Why does it do what it says it does?
yeah,
And I read it and I'm like, oh, this makes sense. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Even though I mean I'm a part of it, but there's so much stuff in like medical information there. It's cool when I get to see how it all like matches up.
I remember watching the game design streams, and text was going on the cards at the time, but also there were moments where you're like, oh, well, that makes sense. That's why we should do it this way or that way. T says the stress of the potential of stress in this game is already affecting me, uh, which I agree. Again, I'm already sweating, and we're not playing.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've gone through complications.
Yeah, next phase is therapy. And so we actually just to speed up the gameplay, we made all of the rounds simultaneously. So everybody does rounding at the same time. Everybody does complications at the same time. Everybody works on the specialist together. But you take turns for therapy. Everybody has a shift, a 12-hour shift. And but you have to draw a pager card first, and bad things might happen. Sometimes good things happen. But yeah, if you want to check out one of the pager cards,
I,
they're going to be just random effects.
I like that the 12 hours is generous on either side. Having living with somebody
Yeah.
who's been training in medicine
Yes.
for the last 11 years. Um,
Yeah.
uh, 12 hours is sometimes laughable, but it's a
Yeah.
nice even point to be to kind of cut it off.
No
It
surgeons
made
would accept
sense,
a full day.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's a long day. All right, so there's a page alert.
Uh, yeah. So this would be a medical error, and you would have to remove a therapy card from each patient. This is a really tough card to deal with in the game, because sometimes you spend 9 hours getting one of those cards down, and it could just go away just like this. So yeah, before every shift, one of these pager alert cards is going to come out. Sometimes very scary, but sometimes therapy dog. So,
Yeah,
you
One
know,
therapy
exactly.
dog.
I'm gonna hit the alert from Panda Angel just so that everyone else can hear the pager alert that is also
Nice.
will send chills up your spine when you don't want to hear it at 2 in the morning. All right, so we
Yeah.
got therapy.
And then yeah, that's when you and then you can apply therapies. And so everybody has a a hand of cards. And these therapy cards are going to have a wide variety of effects. The therapy cards, and so this one doesn't have any continuing effect. It's steroids. Um, and also, I think the symbol at the top is a scary one for therapy. So that card means that you have to draw for complications again before this card goes into effect. But this card is very powerful. It lets you remove any three injury. It's wild, so you can move any three injury from your patient, but you have to draw for complications first. So it's a little bit of a risk reward situation that happens on steroids for this particular card. All the cards aren't like that. Some of them are pretty easy and simple, and don't have as much risk, but some of them are trickier to use. Um, like Pocus, like this is one of the like standard cards in the game. There's actually quite a few of them in the deck, and they just get rid of one wilds. Nice and easy, 3 hours. And but you only get 12 hours per shift. So when you're taking your turn, it's trying to decide, okay, where is my time most best spent on which patient to remove which injury using which therapies. And at the end of your therapy, uh, at the end of your shift, you get to place cards to the right on that specialist board, on the ICU board. You place therapy cards there that anyone can use in on the unit. So that's kind of the way that some of the teamwork happens. It's like, oh, I don't need this card right now, but you may need it later, and you can save that for someone else,
That's
which is pretty cool.
yeah, it definitely helps in the kind of cooperation aspect of this game because you know you're working on your own patients, but you also want to be able to provide some of your therapy or expertise to obviously your coworkers who are who are in need of
Ideally,
it. Yeah, ideally, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's
and
neat. You can play the therapy cards on any patients, but that's actually the cooperative aspect of the game is more than just, oh, I can help your patient. It really is. You can start to see the strategy come out. It's awesome watching people play even for the first time. By the second or third round, they are really planning each other like to kind of set things up for each other in that really cool way.
Because again,
yeah,
you only have 12 hours of your turn, but you can also give some of your time to someone else, which uh, also is true in that world, but also helpful in the gameplay.
yeah.
Uh,
And so you go around, everybody does their therapy, and then you get to specialists. And so specialists are fun. So actually, the way specialists work is there's 5 available specialist cards at the top up there, above the ICU row, and from here you would get to during the specialist phase call in some of the patients or call in some of the specialists, bring them onto the unit, and you do that. So the therapy cards, the ones you saw with the purple little minus symbol, whenever you play one of those therapy cards, you're collecting those tokens as
mhm.
experience points, basically. And you can spend them here to bring specialists onto the unit. So yeah, the 3 on the left, those are all just like wild. Like you spend any 3 and you can bring them onto the unit. Um, the resident I like, but yeah, ER nurse practitioner, super simple. Basically, any therapy. Oh, so these icons. So very specifically, the way that the complications sort of match up with the diagnosis cards, the therapy cards match up with the specialists using these icons. So the resident, that's the education icon. The Yeah, you can match them up. So that's a
Yeah. Well,
radiation
I
ones.
was gonna say
That's
for the
education.
Pocus,
Yeah.
it looked like an ultrasound.
Yeah, that
Uh,
was a radiation
yeah.
one. And so those will match these cards and give you some ability. So if you play a card that has a one of the education specialist symbols on it, then you get to look at the top card. of the deck. And yeah, so there's all these special abilities that you now have access to if you're playing cards with that matching symbol
Uh,
during therapy.
I was
But you gotta
laughing.
bring them to the unit first,
I was
and then
laughing
you
as I
get to
was
do all the fun
as I
things.
was reading the resonant card as I've lived through it. How it works out is you don't have to be first call. You can pass that page off to the resident, which is great if as long as you're not a resident.
As long
Uh,
as you're not a resident, yeah.
I mean, my wife would just walk upstairs. I'm sure she'd be like nodding her head aggressively at that. Yeah. Awesome. Do you want to try one more time to see if it works? Or I mean,
I will absolutely try one more
yeah.
time.
And on these specialists, they don't have them on here yet, but they're all going to have the names of actual people that do that thing, and that's what one of the add-ons is that you can get an extra deck of these specialists with whatever names you want on them.
Yeah, you could just have your whole family or team at work.
Yeah. I could.
Everybody's specialist.
I've got a list of names that I'm sure I could throw into this.
Everybody clap your hands and believe real hard.
Thank you, Mark, for thank you for the
Thanks, Mark.
bits. It's if you didn't hear it, it says everyone clap your hands and believe real hard. I don't know if it'll work. We'll do our best.
I tried it. It's still getting an error whenever I try and create the room.
All right, let me.
Still broken.
All right, let me.
Sorry, Steve.
I will. I'll give my best shot to see if I can make it work.
Oh yeah.
Public password.
Gaming.
Thank you, Pharynix. Max Players 3.
That's so cool.
Create server. You can try Crit Care 1, all one word.
Did you get into a room?
I have loaded a room, but I'm also hosting it, so.
I couldn't even load one. All right, let me try.
So
I'm
I
trying to
have
The number one, right?
yes, numeral, yeah, and then the password is CC again.
All right, we'll see what happens. Don't be broken.
Mark says, I appreciate the chat about the game. T says that pager does hurt. It hurts me. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does.
Hopefully whoever is on call for Steam outages has been paged.
I was
Agreed, Lauren. Hopefully whoever is on call for Steam outages has been paged. Mark says, I missed the psych sound bites. I know. Everything will come back to normal when we are not playing a game and where I can customize things. Pharynix says, question, do hospital staff still use literal pagers? Yes, they do.
so embarrassing.
100%. And they eat batteries like crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know that part.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was on last night, and I got there and my battery was dead. And the first thought I had, and it was so ridiculous that I thought this. I thought, why can't we just charge these with USB? And I was like, that's not the fix we need. You know.
No. Also,
Probably a different device, maybe.
All right. Uh-oh.
Oh my goodness, you see the server? I'm impressed.
It's just lowercase cc.
It was a little faster this time.
Mark says, why do they eat batteries? Couldn't they have snacks like other professions? Do you think you get lunch breaks? No. You don't get lunch breaks.
It's E in the batteries. All of them.
All of them. Well, if we can't get this to work, we will...
I'm in.
You're in. You're in. We're waiting on Omari.
Whoa. I want to get in. What? I want to play also. Join.
Kentucky
All
Fried
I'm
Dice,
gonna wait
hello.
for
Welcome. Thank you for the raid, friends. Hope you all are doing well. I am making good on my promise of my new Riff and Ale 8 that's happening currently. But welcome, congratulations on your 1-year stream anniversary. Let's my raid and shout buttons aren't working, so Mark, if you would like to shout out both Kentucky Fried Dice, and if you could shout out Phantom Meeple as well. Is it Tierney? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. We are here with Omari and Lakshman, creators of Critical Care, the game. Oh no. Broke my pager.
Uh-oh.
Username was so long it went outside the pager. I worked real hard today to make sure they went in. But thank you for the follow. It's Zintizavism. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. My brain, in the small little box I have over here, my brain kind of broke putting letters together. But obviously, the kind of overarching company that has created Critical Care, the game.
Oh my goodness, I might be getting into.
Michelle Ridge, thank you for the follow. Not for the follow, for the host. We appreciate it, friend. Uh-oh. I heard a boop.
I made it.
Oh, we're
I'm
doing
in.
this, friends. We're doing this.
All right, hold on.
I hope that everyone clapped and wished real hard. Let me take down this, unpin this. All right, we should need Marty. Oh, we're doing it. We're doing it, friends.
Yeah.
We're doing it. All right.
So if you want to switch seats and go to one of the other spots.
HHHYYYYYYUUUUPPP.
Yeah, we can do this. Are you just going? Yeah, Lakshman's like, here we go.
Hold on. All right.
Let's set up.
You're setting it up. Where do you want me to sit, Omari?
Down at the end, I think it's which color? Purple
All right. Player names.
or yellow, either one.
Apply. Oh, I don't think I'm seated anywhere. That's the problem. I'll take yellow then.
Yeah, you can go first or
Yeah.
last. There you go.
Oh no! No!
First,
I
then.
want to go last.
All right, we'll stay down here.
I'll change color. All right. First of all, thank you for everyone who's been hanging on for our chat today. Also, again, thanks for the raids from Kentucky Fried Dice. Happy 1-year stream anniversary. I hope y'all had a lot of Jackbox fun. Yeah, we're gonna do this thing.
Are gonna do it. This is exciting. So I'm setting you up, Richmond, over here. We're a little spread out, but that's fine. It'll be fine. Yeah, so you have... So the question is, we do have the ability to play sort of a training game. If you want to do that, or we can sort of play the more advanced, more stressful version.
I know that
for experienced players.
I know that someone asked on Twitter, and the answer was defaulted to you, Omari. But I think we're all gamers here. So if we want to play the more stressful version, I am game to do that.
You are game to do that. Well, then that's what's gonna happen. So in addition to
Oh no.
the starting injury, you also need to roll your die, and you have a special token, the chronic condition token.
Okay.
You're gonna roll your die, and you're gonna put it onto one of those space, and that's just a permanent blocker for that space.
Okay.
And it's also a permanent crisis, so you always have to draw one complication every single time you need to draw complications.
Is there any way to get rid of it?
No, it's permanent.
Okay,
This
sure.
is basically setting the difficulty, and it's nice actually because like however many players you play, some people can use it and some people can not use it, and you can really scale the difficulty that way. So
Is it like a pre-existing condition?
Kind of, sort of,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. All right.
Yes.
I'm rolling. Everyone knows if you saw my games of Hoop Gods, I am not great at when rolling is important.
Whoops.
All right. So
I
inflammation
rolled
over
lung.
here. Lakshman has lungs, I believe, which is not great, as Ziggy Wild already has lung complications. And Ali Fryer also has chronic lung complications.
Yeah, and I have pneumonia, so that is also not a. This is going to be a tough one. It's going to be a rough one.
All right, so I have Malcolm
I think we could do it.
Stokes. His mantra is every object has at least two histories, its context and its story. Oh God, necrotizing fasciitis.
Oof.
Oof. During rounding, double the effect of any complications that quote affects patients with blood.
Yeah. So what you're going to want to avoid those complications or try to get rid of them as much as possible.
Sure.
And that's the setup now that we all have our patients, our diagnosis, our starting injury, and the chronic condition. So now we start with rounding. So you're just going to add, in particular, every time you see one of those little circle symbols, you're going to add one of those tokens. So for Malcolm, it's going to be one inflammation and one crisis.
Okay.
All
You
the
don't have any
simultaneous
complications.
all the simultaneous parts of the game are basically the game's turn. You're just doing stuff for the game before you get to kind of take any action.
Yeah. You have infinite tokens on.
All of these
Tabletop
things that have
Simulator.
happened overnight before you show up at 6 a.m. to round.
Right. You're discovering all of it on rounds.
Right. All right. I'm just trying to set up cameras real quick.
All right. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Uh-oh.
Did you pop out of your seat?
No, I'm good.
No.
Oh, Lakshman did.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lakshman did.
Yeah, it keeps disconnecting me. Just keep going.
Okay.
It lets me back in.
Yeah. We can make it work. So now that have you done your rounding already?
I've done my rounding.
Yep. Now it's time for complications. And so whenever you have to draw for complications, you have to draw the number based on how many crises you have.
But then do I have what about
2 and the chronic, so that's 3.
Ugh. Okay.
So you have to draw 3 and find out if they affect you or not. And you could do one at a time.
Okay,
basically.
I'll do one at a time just to... All right.
Yep.
Tachyarrhythmia. If this patient has thyroid storm, which I do not.
Well, first, does it affect you at all? So affects patients with heart at the top.
No, I do not have any no heart issues.
So if you don't have it, you just discard it. It's
Perfect.
done.
Perfect.
Does not affect you.
All right. Lungs, I do have an issue with. If the patient also has COPD, exacerbation, or asthma, exacerbation, add a lung and a inflammation, but I don't have that.
So you don't, but you do have to add the first lung.
The
and
first part.
inflammation.
Okay, great.
Yep.
Fantastic. Loving it. Loving it. Quite inflamed.
All right, so your inflammation is filled up now. So now that card is gone. It has no rounding effects. And there's this one.
Affects patient with blood, which I do have blood. If central line is in play, it must be removed immediately. If patient has endocarditis, add +2, but it also has a rounding effect.
Yeah, so nothing happens to you now. And usually complications just go on this red side and therapies go on the yellow side. And so that's not gonna do anything until the next day. So that's kind of nice.
What I
Kind of
mean,
nice. I'm
we'll
gonna
make it work.
do Lakshman and see what is going on here. I have a fever. That's unfortunate. It only adds 1 inflammation. It would add more if there were other complications, but there's not, so
Okay.
that's nice. And then, oh, this one, it requires 2, so affects patients who have a blood or a lung and a heart injury. Right now, Ziggy only has lung, so this card does not affect
Perfect.
them. So, great
Do
job.
that.
And then Allie over here doesn't have any brain injury, so that's not gonna do anything to me.
No brain injury.
Also requiring brain, so yeah, look at me. I managed to get away with no complications.
All right. So
Not bad.
not terrible. All right.
Um,
So
Yeah, we're sort of okay.
I'm gonna draw a pager alert.
Yeah, so now we're gonna take turns for therapy. So first, you just need to draw 5 therapy cards.
Okay. I have 5 therapy cards in my hand.
I also have 5 therapy cards. And you are going to be first, looks like. So let's see
Yeah,
what
now I
the
got moved over.
pager is.
All right. Bedside interpreter. Each patient may move 1 injury token to any other patient. It seems unfair.
So yeah, this is kind of a way to strategize a little bit and see if there's anything that is going to be better or worse. Like you may not want one of those inflammations.
I was gonna say,
full.
I think Ziggy or Allie has room for inflammation.
Yeah, so that's not
terrible.
bad idea.
If you're willing to take it on.
Sure. Would you? Oh no, I was gonna try to move one of my lung to someone else, but I don't know that that's gonna help.
No. Do we all have? Oh no, I have chronic inflammation. Yeah,
I'm gonna say just on behalf of Lakshman, I think Ziggy needs to get rid of one of these brain injury. They're just gonna keep building up, and that's not gonna be.
Well, then I'm giving
good
you
for
an
Ziggy
inflammation
at all.
as well. And now that's
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just.
You said you'd take it on before you took the brain injury on.
All right. Well, maybe you should take Ziggy's.
I'll take Ziggy's brain injury.
Hopefully that is okay now. And now you get to spend therapy, so you have 12 hours. And
now all of the icons at the bottom.
for specialists,
for the specialists.
Are the specialists. Yeah. Yeah. So they won't do anything until we get some specialists on the unit.
Okay. And although we only
But you can kind of look at the specialists and see, okay, are there any that are relevant? So right now the trauma PA is the one that's relevant. So if we have any surgery therapies, we might want to hold on to those or save them because we could potentially get the trauma PA. And the way we get the trauma PA is actually by playing 9 hours of staff cards.
Right.
So if any of us can do that on our shift, that would be super cool.
Okay. All right. So I have a chest X-ray, which I can get rid of a lung. I can get rid of a lung injury. I can. That's 3 hours. EEG, I can get rid of a brain injury, I believe. Yep.
Yeah, both of those are probably good for your patient.
Mechanical ventilation, I will. Let's see. Is that I get to skip to? Rhyme with the rounding with the circle, or with the cross through it.
That means it's going to get rid of that every round. So those therapies will
stay
erase
on
injury
correct.
Each round too.
But it will
they stay there.
But it will add a crisis or a lightning bolt. Correct.
Yeah, I think that. If you're doing mechanical vent, it's going to add a crisis.
Mark says, "Why doesn't Richmond adjust his camera so we can't see the floor?" Oh, There you go. I was looking around, going, "Where? You can't see my floor. You can't see my floor." All right. I have staff card. Delirium screen. Charge nurse.
Well, you have a 9-hour charge nurse card,
Right.
and that's a staff card, so that would technically bring the PA onto the unit if you use it.
That's true. And I can get rid of a lung at the same time and be my 12 hours.
Yeah, the brain is probably better. So one of the sort of strategies in the game, because complications trigger off injury, right? So
Right.
the fewer number of injury you have, fewer types of injury you have, the less likely you're to get complications. Sometimes
that makes sense, because some things could be 1 and 1, but if you don't have any of that type, then that makes perfect sense. All right. I'm going to do the charge nurse. So we're going to remove 1 from each patient.
Yay.
And then that will also put the trauma PA in play.
It will. And so you collect all of these tokens, all of these crisis tokens. They're yours because you played the charge nurse.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. So wait, I get 3. I put 1 back in the bag. That's on me.
Yeah. So also, this is a moment where whenever you are playing a card that has the purple minus and crisis, you can use those for that patient's recovery bonus.
Okay. Which would be remove 1 crisis token from any patient in the ICU. So I mean, I could do that, and that would be me, and then none of us would have any crisis. Right?
That would be kind of nice if you could make that happen.
Yep. Plop those on there, and then this one goes back in the bag.
Yeah, and so if you're activating that, you actually remove all those tokens now. You can do it again. You can activate it again later.
Okay. I just
if you need to.
We'll make it work in a minute. I'll move them in a minute. And then I will take care of this brain for another 3 hours, and that is my 12-hour shift.
Yep. And remember, you keep that brain because you were going to need them to buy specialists later.
You're right. And then I discard my hand.
Yeah, but before you do, you can save some therapy cards in the ICU. So we have 3 slots available. One of them is also a specialist slot that we may need later, but if you want to use it now for therapy, you can.
So I've got delirium screen. That's not
delirium
terrible.
Screen is a pretty good card. Yeah. We might want to hold on to that.
All right, we'll throw delirium screen out there, and then I have the lungs or the ventilation. And you would ignore 2 of the rounding lungs, but I think I'll save space. I think the delirium screen is good enough to put up there. I would imagine. Yeah. All right, and then
that makes sense.
Group them and put them here. Cool.
All right. Did we lose you completely, Lakshman?
That's okay. Oh, I'm loving this.
All right, so we can move it.
Just watching Ush have pressure, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. All right, I'm gonna flip Ziggy over. We're just gonna have a 2-player game there, or I can play Ziggy. Actually,
I'm gonna take my sweatshirt off, and I'm gonna because I'm already sweating. That's the situation I'm in. Anyone who's familiar with this stream knows that I sweat just from putting my daughter to bed. So when there's actual crisis involved, I'm gonna lose it.
There kind of is now, I guess. Okay, I'm trying to figure out.
All right, I'm back. Here we go.
All right, so I guess I'll flip. I'll just work on Ziggy here.
Okay.
And so that means cool. We are. you finish your therapy, so this goes away, and this stays on the patient, because thank goodness you're going to lose a crisis every turn.
It's awesome.
Thanks, charge nurse. Now it's my turn to get a pager, and is it going to be stressful?
Mark asks, why doesn't the charge nurse handle the pager battery situation? And Lakshman says, on the one hand, the charge nurse could definitely fix the pager battery because the charge nurse could fix almost anything. On the other hand, I will never live it down if I tell the charge nurse I couldn't fix it myself. Fair point.
Oh.
Fair point.
All right, we got another not good pager alert. This is triage error. We have to draw a code blue card and add injury matching that to any one patient. So, well,
Bad one.
That is a bad one. Wasn't looking forward to that, but here we go. Here's a code blue. Okay. Hyperkalemia. And I have to, one of us is going to have to add an inflammation and something else to our patient.
Okay.
Neither one of us is in good shape for this inflammation situation, but I'm not going to get more, so I think I'll just take on this injury. So
Okay.
I'll just take on a inflammation, and the other one is going to be a wild, so easiest for me would probably be a blood, and that's not the worst situation yet. Kind of okay. The good thing is I have a couple nice cards to get rid of blood, and if I need to.
Mark says, wait, this card can just lose you the game? Or is that mechanically how these all work?
So the code blue cards, normally they trigger when you fill up your injury or your crisis, but there's a couple other cards that just utilize them to do other stuff. Like, yeah, that pager card just used it to add injury, and there's a couple other cards that use them for different reasons. But under normal circumstances, when you draw them, yeah, they will potentially lose you the game.
Also, loving the
I'm gonna play.
loving the representation in all of these patients.
Well, yeah, we worked with an artist and writers to kind of come up with a really nice group of very vibrant, very diverse patients. We of all ages, genders, and race, ethnicity. Like, we tried to do as much as we could with only having 8 slots available.
Sure.
But they have interesting stories, which are actually gonna feature in a bigger way in the rule book and stuff. You'll get to learn a little bit more about each patient.
Nice.
I think humanizing the patients was important to the process too. It's like, you should care about them. You should care about saving them. That's the goal of the game. All right, I decided I have some pretty good cards, but the one I think I need the most is probably the transcranial Doppler, since I have existing brain injury. And then I think I'm just going to use this point of care ultrasound to get rid of one of these inflammation, because yeah, it's just, I don't want anything full if I can help it.
I didn't put the POCUS together with point of care ultrasound.
Oh yeah, I say it in full now, I guess.
Yeah,
Lakshman has taught me well.
Oh yeah, I'm completely certain of that, and I was just like, it's like, why am I not getting this? And then once you said it in full, I was like, oh, well, that makes sense.
All right, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a little bit of a gamble here.
Uh-oh.
So we have the trauma PA. Let's see. I think this will work. Actually, it works better for me. I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Here we go. I'm taking a gamble here. I'm gonna play the gastric tube. for my last 3 hours.
Okay.
And that is going to get rid of a blood
Uh-huh.
immediately. But it's also, because it's a
man.
surgery, yeah, I get to take an additional blood off because we have the trauma PA.
Right, but we're gonna get a complication.
But I do have to draw one complication just purely because I played this card.
And it's because of the surgery, there is always potential for complication.
Every single time. And look at that. All right. Unfortunately, this does affect my patient. So now I have an acute kidney injury. You're going to place 2 inflammation tokens on this card. And now during rounding, these tokens are going to go to my patient. But once the tokens are gone, the card goes away. So it's not horrible. I did get rid of some blood, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's where we're at now. That was my 12 hours.
All right. Great. Fantastic.
Ready to move on.
And then is this a is that a pager symbol?
No, that's just a rounding symbol. Like basically it's telling you there's a description on the card.
Gotcha.
That goes into effect during rounding.
Perfect. All right.
So we did it. We made it to our first specialist phase. So I have how many tokens? I have 3 experience tokens.
I have 1.
You have 1. So we can get either the gastroenterologist or the physical therapist.
What's our blood situation? You have none. I have 1.
We will probably be fine on that side.
Yeah, if it's specialist phase, you may pay.
You can
3
basically
wild tokens. Is that right?
Pay 3 tokens to remove a complication. So that's really good.
I mean, that's not. Yeah, I was gonna say that's
yeah,
not
let's
bad.
get that.
Okay.
Let's bring the PA on, our physical therapist on the unit.
Is it all from one person,
I'll
or do you want to do 2 and I'll do 1, or do they carry over?
It's a team, so yeah, I'll do 2 and you can do 1.
Okay.
And now we have the physical therapist.
Perfect.
So we can activate them during the specialist phase to remove complications.
Perfect.
All right, that's the end of
Blues 686. The game did get funded. It funded just moments before we went live. We can throw the link back up here real quick.
Yeah, like 8:45,
Yeah.
right before we were getting ready to get on the street.
It's at about 19.5 right now of its 16,000 goal. So well beyond funded at this point. So super exciting. People are going to ask, I'm sure, stretch goals, or are we everything completely perfected as it is?
Well, I mean, we talked about it for a while, and I think, this was Lakshman's first campaign. We were trying to keep things pretty simple.
Sure.
But I think what we are gonna do is, as that number goes up, if it continues to go up, we're gonna start looking into some different options for components, really, and that's really the main thing we want to upgrade, especially the injury tokens. But we have a few ideas for what we're gonna add. My philosophy, as always, I'm just gonna make the best game I can afford to make, just based on everything.
I mean,
the whole concept of stretch goals is hard for me to wrap my head around sometimes.
Blue 686 is so excited as I back to the create a patient option.
Whoa!
Which is exciting.
So excited.
Are there any left?
Nice.
Are there any left? I know you're saying
You said there was only one earlier, right?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I'll double check.
As we get ready, also there is a add-on where you can get a customized critical care specialist card deck. So you can get a specialized deck of the specialist cards with names of people on there, or I mean, really any name you want to put in there. But so that is also an option. But yeah, that's exciting. I'll tell you what, if you I guarantee you, if you put in you can pet the therapy dog as a stretch goal, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. I mean, just
Yeah.
You've
gifts
got some ideas.
gifts of the little kid throwing money out the window. T says, "Take my money."
The therapy dog.
Um,
Oh, that's the goal.
all right,
Little canines. It's amazing.
all right.
They just work.
We're
So
one
we
day
completed
down.
our first day. So I'm just gonna use the
Yeah.
crisis token to fill out our little day tracker here. So day 1 is done, and now it's time for us to go back to which part of the game?
We're
The-
rounding.
The rounding. I know, but this is the most stressful part.
That we have no control over. Okay, let's.
Right. All right. So yeah, here goes.
All right. So during rounding, I get an inflammation. But I get a crisis token, but according to my charge nurse, I don't get a crisis token. So is that just
So
negates it, right?
you go through the process basically, but ultimately, yeah, that one is gonna get taken away.
And then I'm gonna get another inflammation as well, according to my bacteremia.
You are going to.
So I'm gonna get one full one, and then I'll have to roll the die. Is that right?
Yeah, so that's what happens when you fill up a row and you need to add another one, you have to roll the die and see where that's going to end up. And it's going to become a brain injury instead.
All right. Let's see.
And I think you have one crisis to add too.
I will. No, I have a crisis, but my charge nurse will take it away. Right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you also have this during rounding, double the effect of any complications that affect patients with blood, which is exactly what bacteria is.
So is that it?
So you have to add another inflammation.
So I have to roll the die again.
Oh no! And
oh, things are going well. T says, "Look, I will throw money at Omari anyway. Plush therapy dogs are just like gravy."
oh no! Okay. So that gets added to me.
I mean, honestly, like it feels like you're just walking in to rounding and going, "Oh, what happened last night? Oh no! All right, how do we fix it?"
Oh no! I think we did pretty good then.
You say we. You say we.
All Lakshman.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
So I have my 5. I'm gonna move my.
All right. I also.
So you should have drawn your 5.
I have my 5 cards now, but I do
Cards
need to draw
again,
a
yeah.
complication, correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's time for complications, and you have to draw 1 for each crisis. So now
one.
well, 2, because remember your chronic condition now counts as a crisis as well.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
That
Omari.
one little thing really makes it so much more painful.
It definitely
all right, DKA.
does.
If insulin is 2 inflammation, sure, yeah, that's me. If insulin is played on this patient, discard DKA. Fantastic. Let's just add more inflammation. Literal fuel to the fire. And then I don't have 2 blood here. So I'm not affected by this. Mark says, "Okay, friends, I really need to sleep. The jackhammer is back tomorrow. I think it has no sympathy for me." Mark had a stream without a microphone this morning because the jackhammer next door was so loud it was infiltrating the stream. Mark, have a good night. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Mark.
And we will talk. I'm sure we will talk later. We are Mark, myself, and TJ are playing Rocket League against Room 51 and Rolling with Rock on Thursday.
What? I love Rocket League.
As part of it, we are going to be playing. There's going to be fundraising for Mark's Extra Life campaign for his local children's hospital. So if you're interested in checking that out, it is going to be on Mark's channel. Mark, if you want to shout yourself out, because I just want you to have to type shout out again. We'll be on Mark's channel on Thursday night playing Rocket League. This is part of Hot Goal Summer that we've been doing for the last 3 months.
I love that.
Yeah,
All Rocket League.
yeah. So it's all Rocket League, Hot Goal Summer, and I came to our group chat and I said, we're calling it Hot Goal Summer, right? And they're like, Richmond, no, please don't do that. And I was like, well, I'm the one making the graphics, so it's going to be called Hot Goal Summer. Stop me.
Hot Goal Summer it is.
Oh, sorry, it is Hot Goal Autumn now.
Oh, that's true. Slightly less fun. Hey, there's the Richmond I know. Backwards hat. I was like, wait, something's wrong.
Yeah, it's I needed the bill of the cap to focus me in on my patient. All right.
Makes sense.
Have you done your crisis cards? You should have one.
Oh, I didn't do my complications.
Yeah, your
I only have to
complication
draw
card,
one. Thank goodness though. And this one's annoying.
C
This
diff.
also affects me. Yep. This is basically the same version, except for I'm gonna get crisis instead of inflammation every turn.
No.
So hopefully we can get rid of this. That would be excellent.
C diff, not fun. Diarrhea caused by bacteria called Clostridium difficile. I'm gonna go with the French. Often a consequence of excessive antibiotic use. So there you go.
Yeah, which is why if you have antibiotics, when this card comes up, it adds extra crisis. So I don't, thank goodness. But it's already, a tough card to get. We got this. I believe in us.
Yeah.
We have lots of great therapies up here. Our complications are all out on the board. Now we can do some therapy. Pager first, though.
Pager first. Oh God, what? There's so much like painful portions before we get to do our job. 2 a.m. consult. Yeah, so
well, we get something, but then we also are adding a crisis. So, I'm going to remove a lung, and I guess add a crisis. Yikes!
I am either gonna take a blood. That might have to happen. All right, so I can either do a blood or an inflammation. I feel like my inflammation is just going to continue, but I'm going to take an inflammation just so all of the addition.
And you collect it too.
Oh, I do collect it. You're right. I keep forgetting the collection portion.
We're going to need those very soon, actually.
All right, so I have given myself the extra token as well, so that's done. All right.
Goodbye. And 12 hours. Let's see what you got.
Well, that's not happening because I don't want another crisis token. I could.
I have 2 cards that are not super helpful.
So I have a craniotomy, which, I mean,
that could help me or you probably.
Yeah. I mean, I only have one of each.
Oh yeah, that's a serious card. Yeah. You're gonna have to draw complications too. Yeah, not a good idea for right now. You have a lot of really powerful big cards.
So I'm gonna take a gamble as well. I'm gonna play dialysis.
Whoa.
I believe.
Bold.
It is bold. It's bold move, Cotton. Let's see how this plays out. But I don't have to take an inflammation on rounding, which I'm kind of stacked on.
Yeah, it would help you.
But it won't help till rounding.
That's true. It won't help till rounding, and I have to take a complication, right?
You would draw 3 because it's based on the crisis.
Oh, no thank you. No thank you. Great call. Well, then I can do this one to remove any one complication.
Oh, definitely do that. I mean, this C diff, I'm just saying, is a real bad one. but also the bacteremia for you because it has the double effect because of your diagnosis. So I, I don't know which one is worse.
I'm gonna free you of your C. diff.
You're a really nice doctor.
Well, you know, I do what I can.
Helping out my patient. I
Um,
appreciate it.
and then I will play Pocus as well, and remove any one thing. And I am going to get rid of a blood token to hopefully not have this trigger.
Super reasonable. Was that all 12 hours?
That is all 12 hours. And both of those go away because they don't have rounding abilities. Correct.
Yep. And now pager for me.
Oh, God, don't be terrible.
July intern. I can only play 2 therapy cards this shift.
Oh, it's
you know what?
It's
not terrible because I only was gonna play 2, so
it's block fun, everyone.
I think it's
block.
fine.
It's block fun.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Since you were so nice to me, I'm gonna play the social worker on you. I will keep you from getting a crisis every turn. And I'm gonna play the case manager for my other 6 hours. So all patients add a crisis to their recovery bonus. So you just get to fill up one of those slots.
Nice.
And I played 2 staff cards on the same turn. So that actually gets us the speech therapist.
Sweet.
So once per patient during the specialist phase, you can basically pay 1 wild to remove another type of injury. So that can be useful.
Perfect.
Once per patient, though. Can't overuse the speech therapist.
All right, so I have no
And
heart.
Unfortunately, that's the end of my turn.
All right.
Specialist time.
All right. Unlock specialists and/or activate specialists that are on the unit.
So actually, we can remove that complication from you with the physical therapist.
It's true. We do have 3, right?
Yeah, we have 3.
Which one do we want? Bacteremia or the DKA?
Bacteremia. Yeah. I'll get rid of one of mine. You can get rid of 2 of yours.
Oh, because it only affects what's is blood related. So you give 2. I can give him 1. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And because we have the speech therapist, we might as well use that too.
Yeah. So turn in 1 to take 1 away. The 1 we take away, does that go down into our pool, our critical care XP?
First, no, not for the specialist.
Slackfish, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. We are here playing critical care. I have 1 on brain. I have 2 lungs and 2.
I think your inflammation is the one we need to get rid of because it's gonna keep overflowing.
Well, yeah, because I'm gonna get because of the DKA, it's gonna give me 2 anyways.
Yeah, you'll get 2 every time. Yeah. So let's get rid of that inflammation.
Blue 686, thank you for the follow as well. All right, so let's get rid of the inflammation. Inflammation is gone.
We ran out of tokens, so I guess that's it for specialists. And so now we have 3 on the unit. We can get another one, but we have to get rid of one of the therapy cards. That's up there. So we'll be considering that, I guess, for next time.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
Is it now time for the bad stuff?
It's time for the bad stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So
rounding.
Let's put a round 3 on here real quick, or day 2. Now
Oh yeah, we are into day 3.
All right. It is time for rounding. Give me just 1 second. My dad called and just make sure all is good. All right. So it is time for rounding. So during rounding, I'm going to get 1. I'm going to get 2 inflammation tokens.
I like my situation. I'm getting brain.
Oh,
but
technically I
that's
only
not
get 1
good.
because the DKA. When does the DKA trigger? For rounding.
So it goes diagnosis, then complications, then therapy.
Okay. So diagnosis, I would get that. So then I would get the 2 for the complication. So that's going to add, and then therapy, I get to cancel 2 of those tokens, but I don't get to remove 1. I just get to stop 2 from happening.
No, you get to take 2 away from your patient. Yeah.
It's even better. Does that go in critical care or
Yeah. No, you don't collect them. Yeah, that's the difference. When they are recurring, they just go away.
Okay. Just want to make sure. Awesome.
But you're good. You have no crisis again. That's useful.
All right. Perfect. So I need to discard the cards that are in my hand real quick. Group. How are you looking over there? How's your patient? Things are
not great.
Things are not great.
My acute kidney injury has subsided, but I did overflow twice.
Brothers Murph, thank you for the raid. Hello, everyone from the Brothers Murph. I'm going to switch back over real quick, just so we can say hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome from the Brothers Murph. Thank you for the raid. I'm here with Omari and Lakshman, the designers, or 2 of the designers of Critical Care, the game, which is just funded on Kickstarter like an hour ago. Well, probably 2 hours ago at this point. But welcome in. We will do our best to explain everything that's going on. We're just starting the day 3 of what's going on. So thank you all for being here. T, welcome for coming in. Clyde Man, hello. Ann 9717, hello. Thank you all for being here. This is exciting. Again, I know T had mentioned that there are a lot of people who are very interested in this game and are excited for it to come out. So it is funded. It is almost at 20 grand right now on Kickstarter. Lakshman's first Kickstarter ever.
Right?
And if you were questioning whether you would like to get this game or not, there's a therapy dog in the game. So, which we have admitted is an instant buy for a lot of people. But thank you all for being here. This is awesome. Thank you all for the raid. And we're about to start we're starting day 3?
We're starting day 3. I just did rounding, so we just have complications. I am actually not in a super great spot, just saying. I'm full on brain injury, blood, and inflammation right now. So
things are not.
I think we might have to like focus a little bit.
Ziggy will be getting. Let me switch back over to gameplay so people see what's going on. Ziggy will be getting a lot of help from me. I have no complications to draw. I don't believe.
Yeah, well, you have 1 because chronic. Because you always have 1.
I always forget about my chronic inflammation. All right. So the way this is going to work is I'm going to flip over a complication card. If the requirements fit my patient, then I will have to carry out the actions that are on the card. And so this affects patients. I have 1 brain injury, but I have no crisis tokens.
That's fair.
That's fair. So
you're good.
So I get to.
You're safe.
But for pulling lines and tubes, it would have added a crisis token to me. But I could ignore the card if I had physical restraints on the patient. And if the patient also has myopathy, I would add a brain injury as well. But those do not take effect. So I'm safe. Blues wants to know, is the art finalized for the game?
Some of the art is finalized. We're still making a few changes. There are some icons that need to be updated still. A few of the things I did the graphic design for as a part of the sort of creation process, and we have a graphic designer that's going to revamp some of the pieces that I did. So it's not a ton of that. I would say we're like 80% of it is pretty much done.
The
All
four
the
the four custom patients have not been designed yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's true. There are custom patients to come.
Yeah, we'll have to work on those.
I'm gonna see if this works
But
or
I
not.
still
Yeah, it
need
works.
to deal with these complications for Ziggy, and unfortunately, so this is gonna be tough. I may not survive this actually.
Because we're gonna if this happens, we're gonna have to draw a code blue. Eclectic
Right.
Camel, hello. TJ in the house. Everyone says hello, friends, and also Richmond is there too.
So let's roll the dice. Okay,
All
so
right,
far so
we'll take
good.
it. We'll take it.
Uh, Only had to add a heart for the first one.
Uh huh. Ooh.
All right, that's not
Ooh.
great, but it's also not
It's not terrible. It could be
terrible.
worse.
Because I only have 3 slots left on my injury, so we code blue if these 15 slots are full or the 5 on the right are full. Either
Now,
one of them will trigger. So
if you had rolled, let's say, a brain, would you have to roll
yes,
again until
no,
it
it automatically
automatically
adds a
becomes a crisis
crisis.
token? Okay.
If you roll something that's full, yeah, it adds a crisis. All right, that card is done, and now for the last complication, let it be not. Yeah, okay,
Ooh.
cool.
If Foley is in play, it's fair. This is a UTI. If Foley is in play, add 1 inflammation and remove Foley from this patient. If the patient has sepsis, discard a crisis token from your recovery bonus.
All right. Well, this UTI isn't going to do anything to me until after this day.
So it's going to have
at least,
a rounding inflammation there.
yeah.
Okay.
So we're at least safe there. Now we get to do some therapy. Please save Ziggy is all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, first I have
Can
to
you
draw.
help?
First, I have to draw a pager alert.
Great. Hope it's not terrible. It'd be a nice one for once.
Structural racism. Not
Ho, ho.
necessarily a nice one.
Not a nice one.
No, it's not a nice one.
Please, all right, remove 1 crisis token from each patient's recovery slots.
Which we both have one, and unfortunately we lost both of those now. That's
Love how
not a
that one
healthy
works.
thing for recovery.
It's subtle, right?
Yeah,
And it's kind of like pressing you without outright hurting you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and there's the text beyond individual actions, racism in public policies and other rules and norms perpetuate inequity. A silent feature of the social, economic, and political systems in which we all exist, evident in many hospital policies as well. So again, I appreciate the extra text on all these cards that really kind of fleshes everything out. Fleshes everything out.
We try.
All right.
But now it's time for you to save my patient, please.
12 hours of therapy. All right, I have IV electrolytes. Fine.
Is that going to get rid of some inflammation or blood?
So that's gonna get rid of heart.
Oh, that doesn't help me.
That doesn't help you at all.
Oh, I do have a heart.
You do have a heart, which would help in some things. I have a pacing wire, which removes 3 hearts during a rounding. I have benzos, which will remove a brain. Oh, sorry, it'll add a brain, but will remove a crisis token on rounding. Case manager, all patients add a crisis token to their recovery bonus. I also have.
Well, do you have any? Are any of them surgery? Have surgery icons at the bottom?
I have invasive, the pacing wire.
Just the pacing wire. Okay.
Is the only one. I have CNA, which would allow me to draw 2 therapy cards. which could
Ooh,
give me
that could help.
some options.
Well, what do we have in the ICU too? We have a POCUS up here, so we could potentially use that.
We do have POCUS.
Delirium screen.
Place 2 crisis tokens on this card. You may discard crisis to ignore complications that affect patients with brain or crisis.
That could be useful.
That's not terrible. I'm going to draw 2 cards and see what happens.
Yeah, let's try that.
Because I think
maybe we'll get something very useful.
We can afford to do that. So that's 3 hours. And we're going to get Propofol. And you're going to get a complication for each crisis. Is that right?
Complication for each brain. That is not good for my patient specifically. I have all the brain injury.
And I got MedRec. Play 2 medication cards, and they use 0 hours.
Do you have medication cards?
The
electrolytes.
The electrolytes and propofol, and the benzos, but that's adding a brain injury which you can't take.
True.
But
I mean, it's still it almost might be worth it. But we can do is pacing wire.
You don't have good cards.
We don't. It's a really bad for my patient right now. I mean, let's use the POCUS, maybe.
Yeah, let's use the POCUS. Do you want the delirium screen too?
Just like Omari was just so hoping you were gonna bail him out here.
I was.
Spracknel's
Let's
here.
do this. If you can use the POCUS and get rid of crisis, I can help myself. But I need to get rid of as much crisis as possible.
All right. So, do you want me to get rid of one of your crisis then?
Yeah. So you can collect that one.
I collect, and this one goes over here to my here XP.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I've used only 6 hours.
Oh. What else?
Didn't we throw? Oh, we didn't put it up here. You could have totally used that. The card that had like 3 brain, 3 heart, or 3 brain, 3 blood.
Yeah, I could have used it. We didn't save it.
No.
I know. Choices were made.
All right. What's up here again? All right. Let's screw it. All right. So I'm gonna play the MedRec here.
Okay. Yeah, that feels like the right thing to do.
I'm gonna play the electrolytes for free. So take a heart away from yourself.
Perfect. There you go.
And then we are going to. I think I'm gonna put the delirium screen in play.
Delirium screen. Yeah, that probably is good for me too. At least
I'll put it over here.
I won't add more brain injury, I guess. At least I can ignore some complications potentially.
All right, place 2 crisis card. You may discard crisis to ignore complications that affect patients with brain or crisis. Discard this card when no tokens remain. Perfect. Blues asked, I missed the setup of the game. How many patients do you start with game with? Lakshman replied with, usually start with 1 patient per player, but you can adjust that bit based on what kind of game you would like to play.
Yeah, we definitely talked about, allowing for more patients to come into the game if you really wanted to add that. And so we'll describe a little bit about that I would call it sort of a variant if you want to just like a challenge, sort of like a challenge mode. It's like how many patients can you cure in 7 days?
Sure.
Sort of thing. So yeah, you can adjust the gameplay a little bit, but generally, yeah, it's just one patient per player.
All right.
Is that all of the hours?
That is
Do you
all.
want to save any cards now? Any therapy cards? I feel like if there's anything potentially useful, it would be awesome.
I mean, the only thing I really have that's any good is either I can throw the pacing wire up there, but that's 9 hours, and I don't know that that's going to be.
I can't.
None of us have real hard issues right now. I'm going to throw the case manager up there. I mean.
Yeah. Sure.
I mean, case manager, just in case we need the last crisis token. Plus, we have an open space up here, anyways.
Yeah, might as well use it. Smart.
Uh,
And
all right,
now it's time for me.
All right,
to
you're
pager.
gonna draw a pager alert.
You're gonna get a good one this time.
Do you think it's gonna be a good one?
Be a good one.
And we're due one. CT scan is down.
No. This is actually the worst possible card I could have drawn.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's like walking into the hospital and saying it's gonna be a quiet night.
Oh yeah, you
This is the worst card I
jinxed
could have
yourself.
drawn. Oh my goodness. Okay. I mean, I don't have a choice now. I cannot play diagnostic cards. So just up front, I'm gonna put this Pocus card up here because I'm definitely gonna save it for later.
Oh no.
You know what? I'm just gonna put both of the Pocus cards up here because I'm gonna need them later for sure. And I can't use them this turn. Okay, so the 3 cards that I have that I can use. Jeez. Do you have type of injury do you have? You have lung. You're dealing with lung stuff.
Okay, yeah, I got a couple lung injuries here. Oh, hey, thanks.
I have the inhaled EPO.
Appreciate that.
Taking a huge gamble here, but I'm going to use steroids. I have to draw for complications first, which means I have to draw 2 complications from using these, and
oh God, that's a lot of gambling.
Nothing bad happens. I know I have too much going on here. Okay, it does not affect me. Woo.
All right, we're clear.
One more.
So
more.
It didn't trigger because you don't have any heart complication or heart damage.
Yeah, no heart injury. So
you're
look
good.
at that, another heart. I am safe. Oh my goodness.
Gamble.
And now I get to remove 3 of whatever I want. So I think it's gonna have to be blood. All of the blood is coming off. And I'll deal with the repercussions of the brain stuff that's gonna happen. Oh, Ziggy is okay.
Ziggy's making it.
Ziggy's making it.
Ziggy's gonna make it through the night.
Wow, steroids really brought him back there. We were worried for a second.
Like magic sometimes.
Sometimes magic happens. And I just have 1 card left. It's a heart. It isn't particularly useful, so I'm just gonna get rid of that. And that's therapy. Woo, we made it to another day.
I gotta look real quick to see if I used how many staff therapies were used, if any.
I was very nervous. I am still very nervous.
All right, Medrack was 1.
Oh, what was that?
I was checking on the staff ones for the CNA. I used 2 staff therapy cards.
Oh, that's to get them on the unit. We already have
that's
them
true.
on the
That's
unit.
true.
So yeah.
So we get to use them during.
So now,
the second
yeah,
night.
specialists. Now we can use them. So here's the question again: do we want to use the physical therapist and the speech therapist again? I think we have 4 tokens, right? We have 5.
We have 5.
We could technically get rid of a complication and 2 injury.
I'd be alright with that.
We have to spend all our tokens.
I mean,
I'm fine with it too.
Yeah, that's fine.
It feels like the right thing to do at this point.
TJ says, "I believe in your medical skills, Omari. Richmond, not so much." All right. So
well, the question is, which complication do we get rid of? DKA or the UTI? We're both full on both. Like they're equally terrible for both of us.
Right. But can't you discard one of the things to ignore the complication that happens, right? Oh, but
it's
it's
when
only
you draw them.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know who's worse off right now, but one of these complications has to go.
I mean, I think you're worse off, right?
Yeah, enough to make. Yeah, that makes sense. All right,
Yeah,
so
I
I'll
think
get
you're
rid
worse
of.
off. So
I'll
you're
get
gonna
rid
do.
of 2 of
Yeah,
mine. You
I
can get
got
rid of 1 of
one.
yours. Goodbye, UTI. Um, and then if we want, we can both use the speech therapist and get rid of another token
Yes,
by
please.
spending 1. So I'm gonna do it too.
All right, so I'm gonna get rid of this, and then I will.
And theoretically,
I'm getting rid of an inflammation. That's no question.
I guess I'm getting rid of a brain. All right, we did it. Day 3. Day 4 is upon us.
I mean, I really thought I was close to have Malcolm cured, but that's really not
Yeah,
happening.
unfortunately, I was in bad shape, so it didn't work out.
All right, so Turner rounding. Apply recurring effects from diagnosis, complications, and therapy cards. So diagnosis, I get an inflammation. Which I really should have. We really should have gotten rid of the DKA, but that's fine. All right, complications. Because of DKA, I'm gonna get an extra 1 of those. So I'm gonna have to roll a die because I have no. Great. I was really looking forward to having heart complications or heart trauma.
That's a good card.
And then therapy cards. I get to remove 2 crisis tokens, which I don't have. And then I get to remove a lung. But that lung goes back here because it doesn't count as going into my critical care XP. Okay. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Jeez. I have to draw 3 complications, which I'm not happy
Okay.
about. But I have the delirium screen, so I feel like that could prevent bad stuff, maybe.
Phoenix says I'm back and I got myself some bourbon as a nightcap. I'm going to need it after we finish here.
Jeez.
Cellulitis. Yep, that is going to count. So you get a crisis
Yeah, it is.
or inflammation or blood, and blood.
Oh boy. I think I'm just gonna take the crisis. That feels unfortunately better right now. But
TJ asks,
yeah.
with this being a cooperative game, what is the win percentage you aim for from a design perspective?
I mean, for like what we call sort of the like training mode, like 75% where you don't play with the chronic conditions, like you should be able to win a majority of the time. But once you sort of play like the standard game, closer to like half is really what we're shooting for. So yeah, we've been monitoring that difficulty and that sort of win percentage a lot, and actually getting it right was tough. And sometimes I'm not like 100% that it's like perfect, so we'll do some balance stuff and just like kind of really run it through the gamut over the next month or so, and a little bit after Kickstarter, just to make sure. But 50% feels good. Like it means you have to work for it.
And I mean, that's not. I mean, coming from an IFCU's perspective, I mean, it's gotta feel like a win. I mean,
I feel like
Right. Absolutely. So that was my first one.
Oh God, Ziggy, you're in such bad shape. Oh, Ziggy's
Second one, no heart.
no
Thank
heart.
goodness. That's been the savior. Is I don't have inflammation, pancreatitis.
Pancreatitis is on the patient. Ignore the effects of IV antibiotics on this patient. Woof.
Wow.
And then recurring inflammation on rounding.
At least nothing happens now, so cool.
All right. Let's. All right. So we've done the complications. Oh, I also have to draw a complication because I have a chronic one.
Oh yeah, just one though.
Come on. It's lungs. I do have lungs. Oh, great. Pneumonia. Fantastic. Add lung. If mechanical ventilation is on this patient, add 2. and that'd be 2 on top of.
Yeah.
Ugh. If the patient has acute respiratory failure, add another one. So I'm only adding 1, which I'm thankful for. But I will have a recurring every...
Yeah, lung from that pneumonia. Oh, man.
That is not good, Malcolm.
I believe in us. I believe in us. We got this.
All right. All right, it's pager time.
Pager time.
Pager system down. Great. If any patients have been cured, you're restricted to a maximum of a 6-hour therapy. So if no patients have been cured, you may use up to 18 hours of therapy.
Hey, this is a good card for us.
This is a good card for us.
All right, we got 18 hours.
This is just for my turn, right?
Yeah, just for your shift. So thank goodness for that. And remember, we have 2 Pocus up here, so we can
Sorry,
do some
I'm
magic.
late. Board gaming
Hopefully.
night as a friends.
Slivers, welcome. Thank you for the bits, friend. I'm
Slivers.
going to say Meggers. Says, I live in Malaysia, but I'm very interested in this game. We'll be shipping the games to Asia as well, because I'm considering funding the Kickstarter if you guys do ship globally. Really excited for this game. Thoughts? Just because I don't know the answer.
Yeah, so we have a couple like fulfillment partners that we're looking at, but the ones that we are using, they do have options to ship internationally, like globally for the most part. There's a few regions that we aren't going to be able to send games to. I don't know them off the back of my hand though. So if you're interested, yeah, if you want to back for $1, like we'll have more of that information coming through as we get further into the campaign and work out some of the details.
Hey, Omari.
Yeah.
How would Ziggy feel about some lumbar puncture?
I mean, perfectly okay, I think.
Yeah. So that's -3 brain, -3 inflammation.
Wow. It's
And
literally the best card you could play for me.
yeah. So have.
And wait,
at it.
you should play a Pocus first because that would make me not have to draw a complication.
Oh.
Hi, Omari.
Omari can't hear it, but Sliver says, hi, Omari. Oh, yeah, then let's play the Pocus as well.
Yes.
Do I bring it down off the stack, correct?
Yeah, so
Okay.
that is... So you have to play it on me if you, to work with the lumbar puncture.
Sure,
But
yeah. Have at it.
I will...
Do you want
You
Crisis?
can collect whatever token. Probably the lung one is... Oh, or Crisis, yeah.
But wait,
Crisis, Crisis.
if I take heart, right? Then you would, at the end of this, you would have no heart, no inflammation, no brain.
Oh, we might be able to cure my patient this turn, actually.
Yeah.
Because we have another Pocus. So, I mean, let's go for it. Why not?
All right. So I get to keep all these tokens.
Lumbar
Right?
puncture to the rescue.
I get to keep all these tokens.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
Yeah, you get all those.
Cool. Which
Well, we still have to deal with the Crisis. So Pocus first to get rid of 1 Crisis.
Yeah.
And then you took all those.
Right. Cool.
And now... That's 9. That's 12 hours. You still have, because you have 18 hours, you still have 6 hours left.
I have an EEG. You don't have brain. You do have lung issues, right?
I do. Mm-hmm.
That's just straight up pneumonia, not influenza pneumonia. CT angiogram, EEG.
Do you have any surgery cards?
No.
With the surgery icon for specialists.
I don't.
Okay. Gee, just wondering.
I can play an
Get rid of an
EEG to
extra
get
part.
rid of one of my brains.
Sounds great.
Because none of these are really going to be super helpful come time. So I'm going to play the EEG. I get rid of a brain. And then...
You still have 3 hours left.
I do still have 3 hours left. Do we have anything that's 3 hours up here?
Another Pocus.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah. I mean, getting rid of one of my crises is going to be useful, but also, yeah, your
I'm gonna
inflammation.
get rid of an inflammation on mine.
Yeah. I can maybe deal with this over here.
All right, inflammation. Back to here. I've got plenty of things to spend on things.
Yeah, that should help too.
I don't think there's anything you particularly want.
I mean,
We got CT angiogram,
yeah.
which is -1 blood on rounding. Bronchoscopy, 1 blood, 1 lung.
Oh, I have pneumonia. So, oh no, I don't. That was the other.
I
no,
have pneumonia,
stroke.
but I don't have influenza pneumonia.
No,
Or is
that
that supposed to be
that was
influenza, comma pneumonia? Or is influenza pneumonia a separate diagnosis?
you have to ask the doctor.
Okay.
That's a separate diagnosis.
Okay. Or complication. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna. I'll end up discarding these.
All right,
think.
that's cool. I should be able to manage. We're in way better shape. Thanks for that lumbar puncture.
Hey, man.
Richmond.
I am just, I'm here to help. Ziggy's had a hard go of it.
You are not kidding,
Like a good spinal tap.
Yeah.
right?
Just
It was
hope we hit the right spot.
I'm feeling like you did a great job. I appreciate it.
Just always give your friends lumbar puncture.
Oh, so now we have another pager.
Oh, fantastic! I mean, the last pager turned out great.
It did. It worked out in our favor. Sometimes you get good pager cards. And today, for my shift,
Morning report.
You can pay 2 to get rid of a crisis.
Can I pay 2, or does it have to be you?
Once per shift, you can do it. Yeah, somebody just can pay.
Well, I have got the cards to do so.
You have all the tokens.
I have the tokens to do so. So I'll pay 2.
Yeah, and you get crisis.
Yeah, I do. All right.
That was
Awesome.
excellent.
Things are going great.
2 good pagers in a row. Look at that.
Wait.
So first thing, I'm gonna play the ECG, EKG on for you.
Just a heads up. Well, let's see what you do. That 6 out. I don't want you to have to spend half your time, but that case manager adds 1 to the recovery bonus, and I could pull off my recovery bonus, which would remove another crisis token from you. But we'll see where we are at this point.
Oh, I see. Because you have to. Interesting. Well, what I was going to do is probably play this card on me. That should keep my inflammation. I'll deal with the pancreatitis. Plasmapheresis?
Pheresis.
Plasmapheresis. I'm always like this.
I was going to say plasmapheresis, but
Plasmapheresis. Yeah, I guess I'll do this on me. I guess. Yeah.
I'm just saying when it comes to it, if I need lumbar puncture, you know where to come.
I do. I do actually know. That's my 12 hours. It was 2 cards there. Yeah. So that's all I got. I am going to save this card though. It's pretty good. The IV team. We can put that up there. And we're going into the specialist phase. We may be able to get something else.
Neurologist isn't terrible, but none of us have any brain injuries right now.
Yeah. So I think neurologist is fine. Emergency medicine might be useful because we have so many tokens.
We have a lot of tokens.
And then every time we play a ER card, we can get extra tokens removed.
I kind of like that.
Nice.
I've got, you've got 2 tokens. I have 8. So that would be half our tokens.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get emergency medicine.
I'm gonna put 2. Well, in that case, I'm gonna put 2 of my crisis tokens on my recovery bonus? Because those stay there, right? If I put them up there?
Yes.
Well, I'm
Yes,
just
they
going to do
will.
that since we have, unless we need them later.
I mean, we're kind of like hopefully going towards the end of the game.
Okay.
Hopefully.
All right, so I
I don't
discarded.
think
18 hours.
anybody.
I discarded 5 tokens.
All right.
All right, so 2 questions from Blues. After the Kickstarter, is the plan to go to retail, and how many different specialists are in the base set or in the game?
It's 25 specialists in the base set, and yes, we are attempting to go to retail. So yeah, I'm already kind of talking to some distributors about that. Yeah, we'll know more later, but that is currently the plan.
Nice.
And both Omari and I, we kind of set out to, we wanted the base set to be the game. We could have put a lot less specialists in, but as we thought of all the people that were there, we just wanted to put it all in the base game.
Sure.
That's all I could do. So that's the end of my turn.
All right, time for bad stuff.
Yeah, well, we can also use speech therapists and remove one from each because
Yeah.
we still have.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about going. I remember to unlock the specialists. I keep forgetting to play them.
Oh man, how many do you have left? You have 3 left. I only have 1 left if I get rid of.
Yeah, I have 3 if you count my crisis tokens.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of. I'm gonna use a speech therapist to get rid of a crisis, and hopefully, maybe we'll be cured at the end of this turn. Maybe.
All right.
Going into day 5.
I mean, if I removed 1, couldn't I just remove your lung and that would be it?
No, you can only do 1 per patient.
Oh, 1 per patient.
Mhm.
All right, so I have 2 inflammation, 2 lung. It's not really. I've got to do the inflammation only because I don't want to have to roll a die and it end up
Yeah,
going
you're
somewhere
gonna get
else.
2. Yeah.
I'm gonna get it
That
regardless.
DKA has really been just aggravating poor Malcolm just constantly this round.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Was some advice to get rid of it earlier.
Yeah, you're right.
That's true.
And of course, we should have listened to the professional. And
Not from me. That was from the
it's
chat.
true from chat.
Like, get rid of that DKA. All right, here we go. Back to rounding.
All right, so you marked off day 4. Yeah, so we're on day 5.
Yeah, so we're
it.
in day 5.
We got this.
I feel hopeful.
It's fine. All right. So first is going to be the diagnosis. So I'm going to get an inflammation. I'm going to get a crisis. But don't
I
you
gotta say, Lakshman, the hemorrhagic stroke during rounding, discard an invasive card from your hand. I've been doing that every time, and it is painful. It is actually painful. It's really challenging.
all right, so I'm going to get another.
I've had to get
one
rid of good cards
those.
several times.
I'm going to get rid of my crisis token. And I'm going to get rid of a lung. All right.
How you feeling over there?
I'm good. I'm just shaking it out. It's been a long week so far. We almost lost Ziggy. But Ziggy's on the mend. I feel good about Ziggy.
Yeah, I only have 2 injury tokens. I only have to draw 1 complication.
I'm
feeling pretty good.
I have 3 injury tokens. Is that your complication or mine?
This is mine.
Okay. I'm drawing my 1 for my chronic, but I'll let you go first.
Oh, check this out. I got confusion, but because of the delirium screen,
Nice.
I can discard one of those and stop confusion from happening.
All right.
Whew.
I like that. I like that a lot. Is that your only complication?
Yeah, just 1.
Spinal abscess.
Oh, you don't have blood.
I don't have blood, so it doesn't matter. All right, we're getting through this. We're getting through this. It's gonna be fine. I forgot to draw my 5 cards. Let me draw my 5 cards.
Just don't pull a terrible pager.
You know, anytime you don't want the pager to go off, it always does. Page alert: invasive complications for any patients with an invasive therapy.
I definitely have an invasive therapy. I have 2, so.
I do not. I have no invasive therapies.
So you don't have to draw a complication, but I do.
Come on.
And it is.
You don't have a heart. Doesn't matter.
Oh, good. I don't have heart. I am safe.
All right, fairly unscathed. So let's do some 12 hours here. I'm gonna zoom in on Malcolm a little bit. All right, so I've got a beta blocker, which removes a heart, which I don't have. FFP would remove a blood, which I don't have. CAT scan, stat, you may pay a token and then remove a token.
Ooh.
That's actually pretty good.
I have one if we need that.
EEG, ECG. All right, well, I'm going to play the CAT scan. I don't have any tokens, but you do.
I have one. Yeah, if we need to remove something stat. I mean, I only have 2 left, so if we can get rid of 2, we can cure Ziggy.
All right, I'm going to play, in that case, I'm going to play CAT scan on Ziggy.
Great.
Blue says, please tell me there's an admission specialist that randomly throws you an extra patient to cure when you least expect it. All right, so you are going to get rid of either a lung or a brain.
Or a brain. Well, here's the question. Can you get rid of a lung or a brain with any other cards?
I can't. I only have heart and blood.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'll just get rid of lung then. You actually collect that, though, since you played the card.
That's true. So you give that to me. I don't like none of the other cards that I have are super helpful to us.
Okay.
So I'm going to...
Do we have any good ones up here?
That didn't really help either, because I was going to say no one has any crisis tokens, so by playing the card up top, doesn't really do any good for my recovery bonus.
Yeah, I mean, we could play it anyway. It doesn't hurt, but also IV team could be useful.
Yeah, I can play IV team to me, right? But also, if I play IV team, doesn't that trigger the remove one?
It does.
But it's from my patient, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I took an inflammation off.
Sweet. We're close.
We're getting there. So that's my 12 hours.
All right. We're ready to go. Pager, pager, pager. National holiday. You can only play 3 hours. Oh no.
But what if
Actually, all I have is 3-hour therapy cards
great.
in my hand.
Oh, it's not the other one where you cannot play any 3 hours. That one's
Yes,
good.
this is the one where you can only play 3-hour cards. Oh, and check this out. I got something special for you. Oh, can I tell you to go back and instead of taking an inflammation, take a lung off yourself?
Yeah. I will. I appreciate the consult.
Yeah, I meant to do that before, but I forgot. Because guess what I have for you? Insulin, which removes 2 inflammation and also DKA.
Oh, you're the best. Fantastic.
You're welcome.
DKA kick rocks.
So that's 3, and all I have left is 1 brain. And I'm gonna play a Pocus to cure Ziggy of the last injury. Done. Cured.
All right.
Ziggy.
Ziggy's
I
cured.
did not think we were gonna make it. I have 2 left.
Do I need to put a specialist on this top row here?
Oh yeah. Okay, I have IV fluids and albumin, neither of which are useful for
No,
you.
it's fine. I can use the speech therapist. If I pay a token, I can remove an
Oh,
additional token, and we're done.
yeah, I think you're right. That is, we're gonna go to the specialist phase, and you could pay one to remove one. Wow, speech therapist for the win.
We did it. We did
We
it.
did it.
I still have some chronic
We
inflammation,
saved
but we
both
are
of our
good.
patients.
It was close for a while there.
I got real nervous for Omari's patient. Like
Yeah,
things were
so
looking
did
not
I.
great.
Wow, yeah, I got some complications that I thought were definitely gonna put me over the top, but it didn't happen.
We never had to draw a code blue card, which was great.
We didn't. We
You
didn't.
did you
That's
did one
always scary.
off of a complication, but other
Yeah,
than
it was a
that, it wasn't
complication effect.
bad. Yeah, we did it.
Wow.
I'm shocked, to be honest. I am shocked that we made that happen. I was physically sweating the entire time. Yeah.
That's nothing new for you.
No, it's nothing new. I mean,
That's true.
it's on the daily. No, this was fun.
Yeah,
I am.
that's critical care, Richmond.
Thank you both for sticking around for the added time to see if we could get Steam to work. And sorry that Lakshman didn't get to participate in the. But I'm sure that I'm also sure that you have played it a number of times.
Well, it was also fun because watching you two go through all the stress of it, I just kind of was laughing about it.
Yeah.
So.
So yeah, this is Critical Care, the game. Let me throw the link up one more time. Make sure I have it here. If you want to go check it out on Kickstarter, it has day one past 20,000 in funds raised. So
Awesome.
20K. So again, congratulations on first Kickstarter funding in under a daily shift in Critical Care of the game in under 12 hours.
There you go.
This was great. I enjoyed it. So it's going to be on Kickstarter for 30 days. So
Yeah.
is there any way, are people going to be able to check this out anywhere? Is the TTS mod up anywhere? Is it playable?
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So that was one of the things I kind of wanted to announce here, sort of. But yeah, we finished up the TTS mod and made it available for this stream, and we are gonna post that on the campaign page. I'll probably do it tonight, if not, probably in the morning.
Shoot,
we have a couple updates to make, and yeah, I'll probably send out a Kickstarter update.
Cool.
For people to check out. And
awesome.
Throw the TTS mod in there.
We'll tweet that out as well. We do not. We have no control over Steam or Tabletop Simulator's ability to work. So that is not on anybody here. But yeah, thank you all again for doing this and spending some time and hanging out on launch day to play this with me and talk Critical Care. Thanks to everybody who was here in chat. Thanks for all the raids. Yeah, it's been great. Tomorrow we are not streaming, but we are doing Hot Goal Summer /Autumn on Thursday on Marky Mark's channel. Come check that out. Now
I might have to watch that.
We have to go find someone to raid. It's a blast. And Mark has been playing Bloodborne on Mondays, and he's doing Monday Night Bloodborne, where he has themed everything like Monday Night Football. And so there's a pre-show. Each half is an hour and a half. If he dies, it's a point for the game. If he beats a boss, then money gets donated to his Extra Life campaign. So it is.
Wow.
It's a whole thing. He did a half-hour pre-show yesterday as well. So that's all going to be brought over. Let's check out on if anybody has any suggestions on who to raid. We'll send this crew over. Let's check on Twitch.tv.
Raid. Who?
Board
Game Blitz is up.
Cool. We can. We'll go over to Board Game Blitz. Also, someone's playing music on the front page of Twitch. Where can everybody find you? Socials, Critical Care of the Game, website, etc. While I'm setting all this up.
Yeah, criticalcaregame.com is the website. Critical, what's the socials are Critical Care Game also on Twitter and Instagram.
Care
And
game.
yes, and
You're
I'm
double
on.
checking.
I'm a Killiverse. I'm everywhere as a Killiverse. You can find me all over the place too.
I'm Swamy. That's typoed there.
Oh yes, Crit Care Game.
Crit Care Game.
That's the one.
Well, again, thank you all for being here. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for working through all the technical difficulties. Thanks for everybody hanging out. And over on Board Game Blitz, I believe it's probably Crystal.
That's my guess.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
it's
go
late
say hi
enough.
to
It's really
Crystal.
Crystal. So go tell Crystal we said hi. Use your beardy emotes and etc. And we will see you all on Thursday over on Marky Mark's channel. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.